AG1 isn't cheap. You know why it costs more and you know why it's more valuable. But how do you get that across to consumers who are just looking at a price tag on their screen?
Yeah, one of the things as I think about educating consumers on the price value and positioning, I've learned in all of my concepts in the past. First, you have to, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be really clear who you serve. It can't be everyone, right? It's not everyone. So there are extremes of the consumer base that we are not trying to speak to, nor am I spending my energy to educate. There are people who are like, I don't believe in supplements. Okay, that's not a battle I'm going to fight. If our great education efforts over time and our work in the quality and human clinical trial research space help move people to a place of intrigue, interest, and belief, great. But that's not the population I'm trying to convince. On the other end, you have people who are so on the cutting edge of personalized nutrition that they are taking a bazillion tests and taking 100 separate pills and powders and have a team of physicians around them.
Yeah.
I'm also, for the most part, not addressing that group. It is the giant group in the middle who, first of all, believe that our food is not as nutrient dense as it once was. Even healthy eaters have nutrient gaps. Certainly, people with pharmacological interventions, whether it's GLP-1s or others, that can negatively affect your gut health and your nutrient status because you're just eating less. Those are the people who are like, I know I need a solution. Within that group of I know I need a solution, what does a quality solution look like? How do you know? This is a perfect phrase. How do I know it works? And how do I know it is what it says it is? Right? That's research and quality. Third party verification of quality, clinical research, human trials, growing bodies of proof that this product that I am buying using my hard earned dollars and putting into my body is worth it. And then look for the customers who say, I'm looking for high quality. I'm looking for the best.
Mhm.
Everyone says a lot of people say they're high quality, right? Quality is an easy word to type.
Right.
Um, it is not an easy nor inexpensive thing to prove. And so we do the work to prove the third party certifications, verifications, testing, the additional layers of human trials and research to add on top of peer reviewed research on ingredients. So this is for the people who want to know it works, who want to know that it is what it says it is with third party verification and who value that in
Mm.
their purchase because you're not packing pills and powders, right? So we bring people on this journey and then find through digital marketing, research, taking people on customer journeys, find people who have challenges with or interest in one of those things. And then we make that singular point and bring them on that consumer journey. And ideally, over time, whether it's interviews, press, billboards, ambassadors, tell the fuller story. We are for people who want to simplify their stack, who want to start on a comprehensive, simple journey, who want to take what they're like I did, what is their separate pill and powder endeavor, and simplify it with more quality and proof. And when we say that, we find our people.
It's great advice, and when you say ambassadors, I mean, what a huge part of the puzzle ambassadors were for AG1. I think you had, like, every all-star athlete on the planet at some point,
We're in a lot of locker rooms.
scooping for you. I did wanna ask about one other collaboration. I'm not sure if you were there at the time with going back to Cinnabon, but, the Better Call Saul collaboration. Were you, involved in that at all?
Very involved in that. And this is an interesting lesson in brand building in the modern era, even though
Well,
that was
let me just interrupt you for a second. For people who don't know, so on the show Better Call Saul, there is a guy whose name might be Saul, not the most law abiding person on the planet, a lawyer who has represented drug dealers and things like that, and he goes into witness protection, and we find him working as a manager of a Cinnabon.
people think things like that. And for anyone who also doesn't know, Cinnabon was I forgot how long it was, 90 seconds. This became one of the most successful television series of all time. And this scene of this guy being a manager of a Cinnabon in Omaha was the opening every episode for seasons.
Right.
And it looks like we were the most brilliant brand placement team and that we had the foresight to know that Better Call Saul would be as, if not more popular than its preceding series, Breaking Bad. None of that is true. None of that is true. Um, don't give us so much credit. Here's what you should give us credit for: my team, me as a leader, our culture, and what I still bring forward even at AG1. What happened was that in the last episode of Breaking Bad, so Better Call Saul was the prequel, the spinoff and the prequel. In the last episode of Breaking Bad, there was a scene, and in the scene there was a line that was something like, "You're not much better than," or "You're lucky if you could be." It was definitely not complimentary. Um, a manager at a Cinnabon in Omaha. Now, my team and we were huge fans of Breaking Bad. So imagine team running this company, this consumer brand, watching an incredible show in its final episodes, and your company is organically mentioned as part of the line. You freak out, you text each other, you're like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Right, we're going crazy. But what bridged that, just like, oh, isn't that great? So we had nothing to do with that line. It
Yeah.
was
Okay.
place in pop culture. So that's also a thing, very nostalgic,
Right.
known brand. Is our head of social media then tweeted, or now X posted, it was Twitter back then, a link to Bob Odenkirk, to the show, a real live link to an application to be a manager at a Cinnabon in Omaha. And the show, one, it kind of broke the internet for a moment. It was like very viral. People were like, oh, Cinnabon, that's so cool. Like, you're in a moment of real fans.
Yeah.
And the show producers and writers just thought that was so cool. And and what it said was, we're okay being made fun of. Again, it wasn't a compliment. It wasn't saying
Yeah.
manager of Cinnabon and Omaha. It was a slight. And we had fun with it. And so they called us when Better Call Saul was in its production and said, look, it's just a pilot. I'm sure it's going to turn into nothing, but would you be willing to let us film at a Cinnabon where we film to have a scene? And we're like, of course, but you have to pay us to shut down the location because it's a franchisee's location. And we did. And then we had fun with it, and it turned into a pilot, and the pilot took off. And then we made an agreement for it to go on and on. And, I could say we were lucky. I could say we were good. It was both. But the point is, one, be real fans of something. Like you work for a brand, but you should still love what you love, because in there lies an intersection with culture. And then if something happens, having the culture where my social media team didn't need to go through 3 weeks of check-ins to ask, can I post this thing to this person? They just did it. And so there's a culture of ownership, of flexibility, of engagement that, again, these lines that you can't give us too much credit for being strategic, but we did the things that allowed the paths to exist that converged to create a completely unexpected opportunity for free.